welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Modern at the request of Patreon subscriber 93, and this is Lantern Control. Lantern Control is a deck that was hit very hard by the MOX Opal ban the first time, and then it was not very good in the Underworld Breach meta, but we've now settled to a place where there is no Breach, but there is still Opal. 93 pulled this out of a MTGO trophy dump, so we know this deck is capable of winning 5 matches in a row. Let's see if I'm capable of doing that. The combo here, if we're calling it a combo, is Lantern of Insight. Players play with the top card of their library revealed, and you can sacrifice this to make target player shuffle their library. You combo this with Codex Shredder. Target player mills a card. And then for 5, you can sack this artifact, return target card from your graveyard to your hand. If you know what your opponent's drawing, and you don't like that they're going to draw it, you mill them. If you don't care what they're about to draw, you don't mill them. And that's the end game. Eventually, very slowly, your opponent will mill out and lose. You have Ensnaring Bridge, 4x the max copies of these, to make sure you don't have to mill away every creature that they might draw, because that makes the hits too dense. If you're Helmet, you can just ignore those. Main deck Surgical Extraction, this makes it so things that you would mill away that would normally be good for them aren't good for them. Or you can mill away a card that will be important at some point, then take all the copies of it. Decks tend to not play a lot of answers to main deck Ensnaring Bridge. If you can snag one and then snag all of them, you're in good shape. This build has a lot of card advantage in it, which I think is really interesting. Historically, at least back in the olden times, the first time MOX Opal was legal, this deck was trying to get empty as quickly as it could because Ensnaring Bridge was such an essential part of the engine. But this build has 4 Tamiyo, 4 Emery, and 4 Stock Up. The 8 copies of these legends are here to turn on Mox Amber. We have 7 Moxen in this deck. That's a lot of that going on. Stock Up. If you are bursting ahead with multiple Moxen worth of mana and your deck's full of 1s and 0s, I could see stocking up being just high value without too much risk on Ensnaring Bridge. And it's very good at finding Ensnaring Bridge if you don't have one, which is a very important part of the engine. Life from the Loam is really cool. That gives you loops with Otawara, Ghost Quarter, Cephalic Coliseum, Boseiju, and Academy Ruins. And of course, Urza Saga, big part of the deck. That's a win con, that's lock pieces, that's removal in a variety of ways, and 3 Ghost Quarters. You will eventually run your opponent out of lands to play the game with, and then you could start removing the hooks from your Ensnaring Bridge and winning with Constructs, I guess. Hopefully the opponent concedes way before that comes up. We got a little bit of an 8-cast value engine thing going. We've got a lot of Lantern Control going, and we'll see how they interact with each other. Let's do it. This is Lantern Control from 93. I'm on the draw in round 1 versus Rick Hardpack, who is a member of the BoshNRoll community, who tends to like tempo decks like Murktides or Ragavans or Nethergoyfs, Psychic Frogs, whatever it is they're doing, but tends to like tempo decks. I don't like my hand in general, and I certainly don't like it against what I know his preference of Magic is. Okay, I'm into this one well enough. I get the Lantern down. I can move cards around either with Bauble or Stock Up. I have to decide if I want to bottom Academy Ruins and just shred with Baubles, or I could bottom Ghost Quarter. I am going to keep. Do I think I'm just going to Ghost Quarter willy-nilly early in the game? I don't think I am. Academy Ruins could be useful. All right, I'm going to bottom Ghost Quarter. If I was fully in the blind and didn't know anything about my opponent, I'd probably keep Ghost Quarter just in case they're Amulet or Tron. But I don't think Rick's going to be doing those things. Oh no, a Darkslick Shores. Okay, I'm getting my thoughts seized. The Stock Up and Lantern are the 2 reasonable takes here, depending on how my opponent plans to play this game. We got a bro chill after seeing my hand with Thoughtseize. Yeah, I mean, this is what we're doing today. If this isn't how you want to spend your time, then you could concede at any point. Okay, Bauble. Bauble. Sanctum. I'm going to Bauble once because Orcish Bowmaster is a card they play. And, okay, I don't care about Dismember. Like, ever. Okay, did not play anything. That's fine. Surgical Extraction. Not immediately useful. Right, Ruins and Opal. I'm going to pass. And now this Bauble represents like 1/3 of a mana. Bloodstained Mire. Psychic Frog is here. Now I am going to Bauble. I know I'm not getting Bowmastered. There's a Delta on top. I think he'll shuffle it away before it matters. But this would be a great time to find an Ensnaring Bridge. Codex Shredder, Basic Island. The Island, I think I got a stock up here. Pithing Needle can name Psychic Frog. That's not the whole problem, though. There's another Lantern there. I am missing the sweet comfort of an Ensnaring Bridge. I think I want Lantern and Needle. Needling Psychic Frog. I mean, how many cards is he going to discard to push damage? And every card he discards makes Ensnaring Bridge better when I do draw it. I definitely want Lantern. Tameo could block, but that turns on the Dismember, unless he discards it immediately. I don't need a land, even a land as good as Urza Saga. I think I'm going to take stock up here. Lantern and stock up. Okay, here we go. Shuffles away that Pluto Delta. We're probably going to see Undercity Sewer, and we do. It's cool that with these fun treatments, this looks exactly like Dark Slick Shores. Good thing once they're in play, it doesn't matter which one's which. Okay, Frog hits. 5 cards in hand. Tameo, Spooky. Now I wish I had kept that Pithing Needle. Right, discarded Fatal Push. I think he's going to try to play a Murktide here. Why would you discard second main? Oh, I could Surgical something now. If I Surgical Thoughtseize now, he'll have to discard another card to play Murktide. I think Thoughtseize is the card I'm worried about here, if there is one. I should have picked Fatal Push. I would have actually stunted the Murktide. But yeah, Murktide Regent is the card being played. And that was a chance to be a complete legend. Oh wait, no, it still works. No, we're good, we're good, we're good. Needed the whole hand anyway. Okay. Oh, I drew the bridge. Now we're cooking. A Colosseum, Lantern, Shredder and Sink into Stupor. Playing Shredder turns on Opal, which lets me play Bridge. And Frog's too big to attack here. All the hooks in, all at once. Gaming. I am going to shred this Sink into Stupor. There's not a lot of main deck outs to an enchantment in a Dimir deck. Tameo can be complicated because it is a 0 power creature. Ensnaring Bridge can never stop it from attacking, but it also doesn't deal damage. Of course, if I knew I had that bridge, I would not have used my Surgical last turn, but you get what you get. Okay, he's drawing Psychic Frog right now. And now I'm in the spot where stock up's a little awkward alongside the plan I'm trying to make here. Yeah, stocking up into another stock up's not ideal. You can't fail to find off stock up. That's not how cards work. All right, but I will cast it and look for zeros or lands. Mox Amber, Lantern of Insight. Oh, Emery. Okay. So Mox Amber plus Emery gets me Hellbent. Any order. Mox Amber, Emery, Codex Shredder. There's a second bridge on top of my deck now, and it's only a matter of time. I can ignore lands, I can ignore Murktide Regents. They cannot flip Tameo this turn. Flipping Tameo does turn on Fatal Push, which stops Emery, but that's a later problem. And this is a spot where people who have never played Lantern before might get antsy and just like try to mill them a few times. And you basically never just mill them to speed the game up. Oh, right. Yeah, clues do that too. Sure. Emery's dead. That's fine. But you basically never mill them to just speed the game up. Because if they hit that pocket of 3 bangers in a row, it becomes a huge issue. I will draw this Ensnaring Bridge just in case. And I'll pass. You can have a swamp. I will mill away my own Botanical Sanctum. I probably don't really want them to have Counterspell. Do I care though? What spells am I even casting? All right, I'm going to shred myself. Get rid of Botanical Sanctum. My own Tameo. I'll take it. Okay, play Tameo. And they did not try to counter it. Haywire Might's on top of my deck. I can Cephalid Colosseum myself, which flips Tameo. That actually sounds pretty sweet. Okay, Coliseum myself. Now I found a Loam. Easy game. Okay, then Loam plus Cephala Coliseum will eventually deck my opponent. Okay, you can have Counterspell. I'm not that worried about that. Tamiyo will flip this turn, so you'll have enough clues to make it happen. Attacking's not really my job here. There is a Pithing Needle in my deck somewhere, and I can loam back. No, I can't loam back Urza Saga. I bottomed that with stock up earlier. It's not in the graveyards. Okay, so they drew 2 Preordains in a row. So the hand is 2 Preordains and a Counterspell right now. Blessing Tamiyo. Tamiyo getting cards back from the graveyard's a little complicated. Preordain. Bowmaster. I don't want that around. Do I care? I mean, I think it's better than a random card. Okay, they're fetching in response. They force a negation on top. Bind that, and I hit Bowmaster anyway. You can't stop me. Oh wow, Kaito would have been kind of gnarly if the Tamiyo still existed. I don't really want you to have Kaito either. And I'll go to my turn. I draw this Tamiyo. Or no, I Dredge Loam. That's the real plan. Dredge Loam. Target Saga. I have to be careful here because I can't end up with too many cards in my hand. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to target Saga, actually. Saga plus Tamiyo. And off we go. I think if I Pithing Needle Tamiyo, I'm good before she goes ultimate. Preordain. Preordain can wiggle a card into their hand that I never get to see. A little tricky. Okay, they went bottom, bottom. I'm supposed to see the card they draw after. Okay, I think that's what this is. Misty Rainforest. Okay, Tamiyo picking up Preordain. Grows Murktide, mostly irrelevantly. Okay, I'm going to shred this Bowmaster. It's just something that does damage. All right, yeah, you can draw Dismember. And let's see if a card shows up in the reveal box, because after a Scry, okay, yeah, they drew Fatal Push, and then there's also a Fatal Push on top of their deck, and they've had enough. Cool. The hooks. Okay, Dimir, not a deck very good at removing artifacts. The Kappa pivot is not for this. Toxic Deluge, I could see the argument. Toxic Deluge is not very good at killing Psychic Frog, though, because you have to pay X as you cast the spell, and then they have a chance to discard cards. So you either have to just like pay 8 in case they discard their hand, which then they won't do. And if you only pay 3, they'll just discard 2 cards. Yeah, it's not very good, but if I literally just need to kill something and I'm willing to pay 8 life to do it, it's there. I want another Needle. Just turning off that Tamiyo seems pretty significant. We've seen Force of Negation, but I don't think I want Vexing Bauble just for that. I am on the draw, where Gemstone Caverns gets pretty exciting. I think I'll turn a Mox Amber into Gemstone Caverns and Haywire Might into Pithing Needle. What Haywires do I need to Might in this matchup? I can't really think of one. Yeah, an extra Needle can also name Frog, then I know what size it's going to be for Deluge. Do I want Delusion? If I do, where's it going? Okay, I think I'm going to shave a Surgical for a Deluge and just kind of leave it in the middle there. Some options for everything. Very good hand, I'll keep it. Gemstone Caverns, LMAO. The one of. I'm going to exile Botanical Sanctum from my hand and try to have Lantern Shredder, Mox Opal active on turn 1. Thoughtseize is the thing that breaks this up. I guess Consigned to Memory would do it too. Okay, Botanical Sanctum. Actually going to start on Pithing Needle. If he doesn't respond with Flooded Strand, it's in trouble. Okay. And if he gets a tap land here, now I know the coast is clear. So it's Ottawar or Psychic Frog. I think I want to name Psychic Frog first. Psychic Frog, Lantern, Island Subtlety, Mox Opal, Codex Shredder. Woo! There we go. That's gaming. Passing turn 1 with 6 permanents in play. This is the Mox Opal you heard about when you were a kid. Yeah, they have a Subtlety in their hand. Psychic Frog, that's going to be 1-2 forever, but that is a pretty good number. Shred this Kaito away. I don't want to play against that. Chase the Mind Sculptor. I don't want to play against that either. They draw for turn. Island. There's a stock up on top of my deck. I'm going to shred Jace and hope there's not something scary underneath. Thoughtseize. Oh, hell yeah. Okay. I hope my opponent Thoughtseizes my Loam. I'll Spellbomb. That kind of matters. But I can't remove it here. Okay, so they are going to live a dream here. of Thoughtseize the Loam and have the Spellbomb to cover it. Unless they just shove a Murktide here. That is live. I have fueled the graveyard quite a bit. Thoughtseize. Got him. Got him! Do you feel good about that 2 life you spent? There we go. I'll Spellbomb's in. Bombing me immediately. Gonna grab this Orcish Bowmaster that I'm not gonna shuffle away. Tamiyo's there as well. Okay. Draw for turn. Stocking up. There's at least 1-0 I could grab, but I'm not really in the 0 market right now. I'm into Emery, and I'm into another stock up, I guess. I just need to be shredding until I find Ensnaring Bridge. That's the game here. All right, 4 flips, still not Ensnaring Bridge, and I actually don't want them to have Tamiyo. That card was so annoying last game. All right, yeah, you can draw an island instead. Deal. And I can block Psychic Frog. This is insane. It's a 1-2 that can't fly or get bigger. Oh, but they have Bowmaster in hand. Nope, I can't. I can't block Psychic Frog. Never mind. We knew the secret. And now they have a Dress Down in their hand. Pretty stacked hand over there. It's a stacked hand that still doesn't beat a Resolved Ensnaring Bridge, though. That's the whole game. Okay, I drew Codex Shredder for turn, and I'm gonna cast Stock Up. Ugh. Okay, double Ensnaring Bridge. Pretty happy with that. Bridge goes to my hand. I take some beats and then try to overload it next turn. I could take Bridge Land. Okay, so I know about Dress Down Island, Orcish Bowmaster in their hand right now. There might be one other thing. Academy Ruins plus Bridge. 1-2 Ruin, 1-2. Okay. Yeah, Academy Ruins plus Bridge. Unless they have Force of Negation, I can send it again. Okay, Academy Ruins. Float blue. I don't even need to float blue. Hold on. This is Amber in my graveyard, not a second Opal. Target Amber. Play Amber. They could kill Emery now. All right. 1, 2, 3. Ensnaring Bridge. Fetching in response is slightly concerning. What are you looking for? Subtlety doesn't interact with this. Oh, we knew about Subtlety too. So I know 4 of the cards in hand. And Bridge resolves. Exciting. Okay. I'm going to pass. And I'm probably going to shred this Kaito. Do I care about Kaito once it is in play? I think I am going to shred Kaito. There are many worse cards than that in the deck. Though it is mostly just a 3-4 that surveils 2 once it's in play. It doesn't have a traditional Planeswalker ultimate. Maybe that's not a big deal. Okay, Force of Negation on top. Right on time. Consigned to memory. Okay, I mean, fat stacks over there of good cards, but I am going to be hellbent with the hooks in and Ensnaring Bridge resolved starting next turn. Harbinger of the Seas. Okay, that turns off a bunch of my mana colors. It doesn't really do anything, though. It kills this Urza Saga on entry. Codex Shredder. Urza Saga. Yeah, just delete that. That's what we're here for. And Emery target Bauble. I'll probably never actually crack this Bauble because I know they have Bowmaster and Emery is the thing I have going on here. But I have access to it, so I'll use it. Oh, interesting. If they use Bowmaster proactively like this, then Bauble is only 1 and not 2. Okay, perfect. Hey, they just drew a fetch land. You can't attack. I'll shred your counterspell. Sink into Stupor, that's even worse. Okay, I'm actually going to draw to maximize... I don't want them to be able to draw a card at instant speed. And I'm just going to, like, Besage you a random land here. Besage you this Undercity Sewers. This is also a shuffle. Or it's either a shuffle or a strip mine. They floated a blue. And they took the shuffle. Cool. All right. Deal. I'm just going to pass... Oh, I have a legend. I didn't need to tap Mox Opal. I am buried in the weeds here. You draw Dark Slick Shores. There's another Harbinger on top. I'm going to shred my own Urza Saga here. Tamiyo. I'll take that. This lets them play Subtlety, but I don't actually care. I'll just put Tamiyo on the bottom and move on with life. Tamiyo to the bottom. And pass. Harbinger. So the possibilities here are my opponent is hard locked. 2, they have been sculpting the entire game to get to this spot. and will kill me all at once with like Sink into Stupor plus Counterspell backup as cards I don't know. But is that even true or possible? There's that Sink into Stupor again. This is like their only card in their deck I'm worried about. Mill that. Okay, they're going to try to draw a card in response. I'll mill it again. Cool. All right, Dress Down resolves. You draw Psychic Frog, then you mill your Polluted Delta, and I go to my turn. That's why I didn't fight over that 2 turns ago, because I only had one mill available. They already have Force of Negation in hand. I don't think I'm going to fight over Counterspell, because the things in play are the things that matter right now. I am going to mill a Bowmaster. I think it's okay to have a Dress Down. Yeah, that's fine. Just hit my land drops here. It's not like I'm using Emery anyway. Okay, there's Bowmaster. That's why I milled the first one, because the second one, if they get 2 at the same time, but I don't really care about Emery dying either. Such a weird sequence of things. I don't really care about Nile Spellbomb. Okay, yeah, that's fine. They'll probably counter this stock up, or they could use it to hope that I miss on a turn. Toxic Deluge, fascinating. Okay, Surgical Extraction I want, and I do not want Light from the Loam. Right, Surgical's good, and I just know they have a bunch of counterspells in hand. I could take the other Amber. You can't fail to find because there's no values of the cards. Yeah, look at 5, put 2. I guess I'll take the Loam. I can target Botanical Sanctum, or I'll target Ghost Quarter. I have green mana here. I have 1 land drop to make. If this flushes out the Force of Negation, that's fine, but they shouldn't really care about my lands with Double Harbinger in play. Yeah, whatever. Deal. There is a Nile Spellbomb on top of their deck right now. I think I'm going to surgically extract their Sink into Stupor and see what the options are left in this deck. Okay. Counter Surgical remains an option. Yeah, I'm not worried about Nile Spellbomb. That's fine. The Consign to Memory is fine. It's all fine. Who cares? I have more cards in my deck than my opponent. That's the metric that matters right now. All right, they drew a Consign. There's another Consign on top. All right, I'll cast this thing. It'll get consigned by one of the many consigns. Or it doesn't matter. Yeah, the third one doesn't really do much. Okay. Are we having fun yet, people? Is this good content? Force of Negation. I might care a little bit about that. Counterspell, that's basically the same thing. Yeah, they can draw 2 cards at instant speed, so I'm not going to give them a moment where I'm tapped out. Okay. Emery number 2. Keep the real one. I mill 4. Dress Down in response. Did I keep the wrong one? Why can't I? Oh, there's no targets right now. Sure. Yeah, okay. Okay, so they're dressing down now to get ahead of the second ensnaring bridge. That's fine. Okay, mill 4. There's now a bridge in my graveyard. They can bomb that. Tameo is a card I'm a little worried about. Psychic Frog, I'm not. Deal. Though drawing half your deck is not a good strategy against a mill opponent. Okay, moment of truth. This is what we've been jockeying for. There's the Sink into Stupor. I can sacrifice 2 lanterns here if I need to shuffle. I am going to go to my turn and make them do stuff first. Okay, Emery, target, Ensnaring Bridge. Let's at least get this Nile Spellbomb trigger on the stack. Okay, that's not how they're choosing to fight. Yeah, with 85 Consigned Memories in hand, I'm not surprised. Okay, Shred you. I probably should have done this in response to the Consign. That way the Spellbomb couldn't have drawn this card. Or it could have either drawn or taken the bridge. Yeah, that was a little sequence problem. Okay. Drawing Murktide Region is fine. And they've had enough. All right. Couldn't dance around the Sink into Stupors. We're having a good time. This is how I treat my patrons. Subscribe to the BoshNRoll Patreon, and you too could get ground into dust by Lantern of Insight on camera. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at toamagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play in round 2 with a hand that almost works. If there was a Mishra's Bauble in this hand, I would snap it off. But as is, we have to mulligan a hand that does not make mana, but only barely. Okay, I can keep this. It has some of my more important cards. I think I'm going to bottom one of the bridges. Devourer of Destiny. All right, we're against Eldrazi. I don't really know the full range of what Eldrazi does these days. Ugin's Labyrinth, Botanical Sanctum. Okay. I do want my third land. It's cool that we get the information that one of the 4 cards they're looking at is Ugin's Labyrinth. We might be able to solve for X here. Okay, well, they took Ugin's Labyrinth. Malevolent Rumble. Utopia Sprawl. Okie dokie. Urza Saga on top. I'm going to play Emery. That will mill away the Urza Saga, but hopefully be worth it long term. Tamio's on top. And there's a bonus bridge in the graveyard now. Yeah, I'm just going to pass. Kozilek's Command is a card I have to think about getting burned out by Fleshraker. Do these big modern ramp decks play Fleshraker? Or is that more low-to-the-ground aggro versions? Rumble, Writhing Chrysalis, Emrakul the Promised End. Emrakul's a bit of a problem. Are they willing to invest in it this early? Is the fun part. They chose Sowing Mycospawn, a card that is banned. You're not allowed to do that. Can we play Legacy now? Ugin's Lab. We know they have a Devourer at least over there. Bind and Emrakul. That thing is safe and sound in there. Just someday bother me. Okay. Emery, target, Mox, Opal. Opal is generally better than Amber. They could Kozilek's Command for 1 here and exile this, but I would welcome that personally. Cephalid Coliseum, Ensnaring Bridge, Tamio. Okay. We're doing stuff. Not enough stuff. I probably am going to pop my Bauble next turn. There's Kozilek's Command on top of the deck. Wow. Opponent sees where this is going. Okay. I am actually doing a little research on my second screen. I'm looking at what these decks play specifically for what I'm doing, because if you're going to register a deck like Lantern Control, you do actually need to know what's going on in the format so you can Pithing Needle and sideboard and have your hate pieces line up appropriately. Yeah, they have a bunch of World Breakers. That's a cast trigger. That's really tough. That, I guess, and it can come back from the graveyard. So my Surgicals have to stay in for World Breaker. Out of the sideboard, I see Consigned to Memory, Haywire Might, Stone Brain even on Ensnaring Bridge would be pretty good. Okay, so Stone Brain. Do I want to go Kappa here? That's the big question. Do I want to be locking them down, or do I want to just bash their noodle? The idea of bashing their noodle is pretty appealing to me. It's either bring in a bunch of Kappas or bring in Pithing Needle and my Toxic Deluges. Either way, Gemstone Caverns plays. Mox Amber, your Gemstone Cavern now. I'm on the draw. That's going to happen. What happens if I bring in the Kappas? I cut the Ensnaring Bridges? This is a deck that uses the graveyard. They have Kozilek's Return and World Breaker. Haywire Might is not without targets. I think I'm going to cut it, though. I think I want to try this Kappa plan. Ensnaring Bridge does not go against... Or maybe the Kappa plan is specifically for matchups where Ensnaring Bridge doesn't matter. Like if they're a combo deck, you just cut your Ensnaring Bridges, bring in Kappas, and hit them. Okay, yeah, I think I found what I was supposed to find there. I did just say this card was useful, but I do need to make room for the cards I want to bring in. And I have 20 seconds left to do it after Googling their list for a few minutes. Maybe one Tamio. Okay. This is a very fast Lantern of Insight, a fast Emery. I am going to keep Forest Sprawl. Can I draw a normal land? Oh, Mox Amber. Let's go. This hand just went apeshit. Okay, Opal, Amber, Otawara, Lantern. Ooh, look at this shit. When you cast the spell, you may exile your hand if you do draw 3 cards. Each creature spell has a merge. Okay, that's fun. And then I play Emery, who turns on Mox Amber. And then I can Pithing Needle something. What do I want to needle is the question. I think I'd rather leave up Boseiju, actually. Or no, I can't do that because that is a green card. Emery milled an Emery and hit another Emery. Disappointing. But Codex Shredder is there. I'm gonna pass. Okay, they drew that big dragon idiot. Rumble. This will put some cards in the graveyard and turn on Surgical. It's fun that we get to see Eldrazi Temple twice. And that is the card they took. Devourer on top now. Talisman's in. And now I'll go to my turn. Emery can target Codex Shredder. Gotta get these hooks in. Play that off Amber. Am I worried about Devourer of Destiny at this point? I could Beseiju this Eldrazi Temple. That shuffles away the Devourer. I could Surgical, like, just something out of their graveyard, but I don't want to do that. I think that's actively a bad idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to Beseiju the Eldrazi Temple. This shuffles away the Devourer. I could have waited till their draw step, and then they draw Devourer, which I may or may not care about. The Commercial District sees Wooded Foothills. Wooded Foothills goes to the graveyard. Yeah, if they had kept that, I could have pithing needled Wooded Foothills. Okay, I'm going to sit on this for a minute. Nature's Claim on top of the deck. Good to know. Malevolent Rumble. That'll clear the claim anyway. It clears 2 claims, and they can get Forest or Talisman. They took the Talisman. Devourer's back on top. Talisman's in. Stomping Ground's in. I think I am going to shred the Devourer because they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 land away from casting it. It is a threat, and I don't have Ensnaring Bridge in play yet. Urza's Saga. Get in. Mishra's Bauble. Draw an extra card. Let's just start doing that. And I think I should play the other Emery just for the graveyard reload. Okay. Passing the turn. Dismember on top. That kills my Emery. Talisman, 3 cards left. Stone Rain, fun. Okay. Yeah, you got it. That is my win condition at the moment, but I got Life from the Loams in my deck. They're running out of cards in hand. Sanctum of Ugin, that one's decent. I'll bobble you. I'll look at that Sanctum of Ugin again. Thanks. I'm going to draw Ghost Quarter plus another card here. It's another bobble. Ooh, there's a Shredder on top. I like that. Okay, Ghost Quarter. Take out the Forest that taps for 2, which will also shuffle away the Sanctum of Ugin, unless they decline to search, which I think they can do. Yes, they may search. Sanctum of Ugin still on top of the deck after all that. Fascinating. Okay, bobble. Am I worried about Sanctum of Ugin? I think I am, at least enough to do this. Shred the Sanctum. Wooded Foothills, that's better. Emery, target bobble. Do I want to needle Wooded Foothills? 7 is the magic number where the scariest things start happening to me. I guess they already have 7, though, because they have the spawn. Yeah, maybe that didn't make sense. Writhing Chrysalis on top. Wooded Foothills, it doesn't work. And now I'll draw a bunch of cards. Show me your Writhing Chrysalis. Again. Opponent keeps sending me unsolicited Chrysalis picks. Okay, draw another Shredder. That's big. Toxic Deluge doesn't matter for now, but could be good at some point. Shredder. Bobble. I think I would like to take this Chrysalis out of the game. Kozilek's Command, I don't want that there either. Sowing Mycospawn. Okay, I can exile Kozilek's Commands from their life, and that also shuffles the spawn away. They have 2 copies of this dragon in their hand. Okay, those are gone. And Malevolent Rumble on top. Mishra's Bauble, play another one of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This thing costs 9. Okay, off we go. If they rumble, they lose another Nature's Claim. Writhing Chrysalis, Sowing Mycospawn, Stomping Ground are their options. It's probably Mycospawn. Yep. Okay. This card can be cast. It will cost them both spawns to kick it, though. They have 25 cards left in their deck right now. And I don't know how many Sanctum of Ugins they play. It's possible my random milling has diluted their Mycospawn package. Wait, why did I think they would have to sack their spawns? I just don't know how to count. Did they have mana floating from something else? Okay, never mind. Whatever. They can do what they want. Or no, they just didn't kick it. I was right the first time. They rumbled into the Mycospawn. I looked away for a second and lost track of my life. Okay. Emrakul on top. This one is actually scary. Okay. I'm going to look at your Emrakul again. Show me that Emrakul. Okay, Emrakul. I draw 3 cards at the start of my turn. One of them is going to be Lantern of Insight. Lantern, stock up, Tameo are the cards. Mox Opal on top. Well, I don't want you to have Emrakul. That's for certain. Let's get rid of that thing. Uggin's Lab. Okay. I do have Opal and Amber in play already. They have 7 mana right now, but we know the top of the deck can make it 9. Like, if I were to Toxic Deluge to clear the board right now, I don't think that's a good idea. Right, I'm going to cast Stock Up. That's my plan. There's a bridge. That's good news. I needed that. And Botanical Sanctum is still on, but there's Ghost Quarter. I could skip Ensnaring Bridge, get Loam Ghost Quarter, and get to work. Can I play Bridge's turn? Yes. No? No, there's not an Opal or Amber in my graveyard. And I can't take 3 cards off Stock Up. Are we sure? Should I reread Stock Up? Can I get 3 cards off of this? Okay, I guess I want Botanical Sanctum and Ensnaring Bridge here. Or is Ghost Quarter just the same thing as Botanical Sanctum, but better in the matchup? Right, Ghost Quarter plus Bridge. It's done. It's done. I've done it. Another Emery on top of my deck. Ghost Quarter, Lantern, Emery target Bauble, and I suppose I have to hope that I don't get entirely cooked this turn. Do I want to try to mill the Uggin's Lab? I think I will, actually. I'd like this to at least cost their spawns. Yeah, I don't care about Writhing Chrysalis now that I have Ensnaring Bridge in my hand, and they have to exile the cards in their hand when they cast Harrogast. Their hand is a Chrysalis and 2 Harrogast. They get to attack for the first time this game on turn 7. I accept those terms. Deal. Harrogast and Sanctum are both cast triggers, unfortunately. So they can stack them correctly, if they know how. This is actually a skill test. Oh my god, they did it backwards. If they tutor an Eldrazi here, it's going to get exiled to Harrogast trigger. You may exile your hand. Of course it says you may. Cards are boring these days. Back in my day, we had to do it. I guess I just lose to Emrakul because I have Toxic Deluge in my hand. I think I just pay 15. There are 5 card types in the graveyard. Oh, they got Swing Myco Spawn. Do they only have 1 Emrakul? Awesome if true, because I was actually dead to that. Okay, Harrogast resolves. Devourer has Emerge. Or no, that's on top of the deck. Myco Spawn has Emerge, if they want to emerge it. And Myco Spawn, just the search trigger. Bajuka Bog, pretty solid. That's not that big of a deal, but it is solid. And here, I don't think I want to bobble because I need Bridge to be functional. The opponent's drawing Talisman of Impulse. I do have 4 mana. I could play, I guess I play Tameo plus Bridge. Tameo and Bridge coming out. And then I'm just going to chill and not do anything and try to mill them out. They had enough. Cool. All right. Yeah, maybe I'm not supposed to board a Toxic Deluge against the deck with Emrakul the Promised End in it. That might have been a mistake. But we did still largely squish their shit. On to the next round. The 9th installment of the NYSE Vintage Open Series is coming. This 15 proxy vintage tournament with Power 9 prizes takes place on Saturday, June 14th, 2025 in Long Island, New York, and has a $500 entry fee. That's a hefty entry, but the guaranteed prizes for top 8 are unlimited Black Lotus, Ancestral Recall, Time Walk, and all 5 Moxen. The NYSE Open 8 went well for me last year. Someone better come stop me from getting another Lotus. Will it be you? I'll be at the NYSE Open 9 on June 14th, and I hope to see you there. Register on melee.gg or use the link in the video description. I'm on the draw in round 3 with a hand that does not quite work. There's no blue source to get Emery going. There's no 3rd artifact to get Opal on. Yeah, I'm going to mulligan this. What's going on here? I can... If I keep this, I bottom one of the Loams. I have a draw, a Bauble, Lantern, trying to make something happen. I'll try it. Oh, okay. Got a little Leyline Zoo in the chat. Ensnaring Bridge is going to be a pretty good card here. Okay. Botanical Sanctum, Lantern of Insight. This could get Stubborn Denialed off this mountain. It's pretty annoying. Okay, didn't happen. Bauble is such a weird card when you already have Lantern. It's like, why would I do anything? Okay, they drew another land, or another ley line. That's a pretty bad draw. Ragavan's a pretty good draw. I can make them shuffle, though. Or invite them to shuffle. Leyline Binding. Gross. Okay, Leyline Binding takes my Lantern. Would I rather have Lantern under that? Yeah, I do play Boseiju. So it's like I could shuffle away Ragavan. Yeah, I'm actually going to shuffle away Ragavan. That's not a card that I really wanted to see. Scion of Draco on top. Oh, did they keep a one-lander? Interesting. Okay. That does shape how I could proceed with this game. Yeah, if they have one land, I'm going to let them draw Scion, and then I can Ghost Quarter them next turn, or I could just start making constructs. Interesting. Yeah, it looks like they just kept a shitter based on the strength of Leyline. Didn't want to mulligan a Leyline. Show me another card. Flooded Strand. Okay, so Flooded Strand represents Scion. I could Ghost Quarter now, but that turns off my ability to Saga, and I can Otawara the Leyline. Okay, yeah, here's Scion. We knew that was coming. Hope I chose correctly on how to deal with it. Construct, draw for turn, a Surgical. Interesting. Okay. I can't really afford to make another construct here. I think this has to be Opal. Or this could be Pithing Needle. Then I bounce Leyline. Oh yeah, okay. Pithing Needle, name Flooded Strand. Pithing Needle on Flooded Strand. Play another Saga and Otawara the Leyline. Then their hand will be 2 Leylines and they have Mountain to play the game on. And they have a 4-4 versus my 2-2 that will soon be bigger than their 4-4. Cool. All right, let's hope that works. I can start Ghost Quartering them next turn, or I can just make bigger constructs depending on what they show me. We know the hand is 2 Leylines right now. It doesn't take much for a construct to be bigger than a 4-4 in a deck with as many artifacts as I play. Ensnaring Bridge could just do that shit too. Then what am I even worried about? I'm worried about the fact that I still have 4 cards in my hand. I could Ghost Quarter the Mountain, buy back Ghost Quarter whatever they get with the Mountain, and then next turn tutor Opal. All right, yeah, I'm going to start beating up lands here, actually. You floated a red, bolted my construct, that's fine. This is a little risky, but I think now that I have access to Ensnaring Bridge, it's worth it. Get back Ghost Quarter and another Saga. Yeah, I think I want to keep the Sagas going, but I don't want to overload my hand for Ensnaring Bridge. Kill the Plains. How many basics you got over there? You're out. Okay. I can, of course, just spew off Surgical Extractions to clear my hand for Ensnaring Bridge. If I get under 4, I think I'm okay. And they did not play a blue land to represent Summer Denial this turn. I'm going to get Opal, play another Saga. The bridge turns on the Opal, and I'm just going to cast a Surgical in their draw step on Lightning Bolt. Show me your deck. Okay, Bowmaster, Flage, Leyline, Leyline, Leyline. Another Scion, Sacred Foundry. Okay, so they drew Sacred Foundry this turn. Yeah, there's that one. I can Ghost Quarter that from my hand even. I don't even have to Dredge Loam, but I could. Yeah, I think if they don't have lands, they can't win. Is that a safe thing to say? Is that how Magic works? Ghost Quarter, hit your Sacred Foundry. I should have counted their Sacred Foundries. That was a mistake. Okay, Ghost Quarter, Ghost Quarter. I'm going to pick 2 of them up because I have Surgical anyway. And then I'll Surgical Sacred Foundry in their draw step. This puts me to 10. Did your Territorial Kavu, they only have 1. Is there any land they have 2 of for future games? Triome, Blood Crypt, Steam Vents, Thundering Falls. Yeah, it's Wooded Foothills, Flooded Strand are the things they have more than 1 of. Okay. Oh, I took 2 for no reason. Yeah, Mox Opal's in play. Good job, me. It's fine. It's fine. I'm just playing against a deck that has a bunch of Lava Axes in it. What could go wrong? Okay. Do I even make a construct? Does this matter? Is this what this game's about? I don't think it is. I'm going to get a Lantern of Insight, and I could play Stock Up. Stock Up puts me to 5. I can go land Tameo. All right. That would be 3 cards in hand. Okay. Ghost Quarter. Stock up. Another ensnaring bridge. All right, Codex Shredder is what I was really looking for, and I don't think I need a second bridge. I think I'll get one just in case, though. Okay, and then I can play Shredder. They can draw the Flooded Strand that doesn't work. That's fine. The long-term plan paying off. Leyline Binding on top of the deck. I don't care about that. I draw Boseiju, play Ghost Quarter, play Bridge, play Tameo. Just getting that hand low. Stumber Denial. I'll mill anything that is a land, and I'll let them have anything that's not, is where I'm at here. Okay, I can attack with one of these Tameos. This does fly naturally. It's fine. You can have it. I just want the clue. Oh, they didn't block. Did they know it flies? Okay. Clue token gets me a Codex Shredder. Codex Shredder. Play Boseiju as a land and pass. Just got to watch my clock here. If they don't concede, it could be tedious to get through this, but whatever. I'll mill Light from the Loam off my own deck. Emery's pretty good. Play Emery. Value. It worked last turn. What do we got here? All right, still not blocking. Yeah, flying is just printed right on that card. Okay. Maybe they think they can deck me if I get greedy with my Tameo, but I'll have 4 Codex Shredders before that happens. Tread your Blood Crypt. You can have Ragavan. Play Haywire Might. Attack with Tameo. I could flip Tameo in response to a block now if they suddenly realize their card is flying. Okay. Well, it's happening. Clue. Flips Tameo. Plus that. Mox Amber. I don't have one of those in play yet. Target Lantern of Insight. With Emery. Play that. And pass. Arid Mesa on top. I'll mill that. My opponent must be playing to the clock here. There's no other reason to still be in this game. It's over. I'm going to exile Flage and all their other Flages. Don't really need to do this, but I'm having fun. It gets 2 cards out of their deck. Drawing another Scion. Wooded Foothills on top. Shred it. Shred the Arid Mesa as well. Consign to memory. Right there in the main deck. I may have forgotten to activate Tameo last turn. I don't even know what's going on anymore. None of this matters at all. Okay. All that matters is having enough time to play game 2 and 3. Flooded Strand, you can have that. LOL. Okay. Drawing a Bauble. Saga ticks up. Play Bauble. Plus Tameo. I'm just going to get some priority pass value by making my construct in the main phase. Wooded Foothills on top. I'll take it. Territorial Kavu, don't care. I am not going to play this stock up. I will tutor another Codex Shredder just in case. And pass. Wooded Foothills on top. I am going to shred a little aggressively now. My opponent's playing another clock. I will lean in. I have 3 Shredders now. I can be a little pushy. Botanical Sanctum in tapped. Pass. Just ignoring the fact I have a Tameo in play. It doesn't matter. That's not what the game is for. It's not what we're doing. Mana Source on top of their deck. Take it. Take Orcish Bowmaster as well. Didn't I exile all these? God damn it. Did I misclick? Alright, whatever. Now I'm just milling them out. They're so screwed here. Namo. Sure, plus Tameo again. The other Flooded Strand. You can have that. I want them to have all 4 in play. Scoreboard. Ghost Quarter in play. Shredder. I must have misclicked on that earlier surgical. That's fine, it happens. Right, no plays, no shreds. Another Lantern. Pass. F6. I meant to shred last turn, but I had already passed priority. Shred. Soul Guide Lantern. Now, just in case they have something that functions out of the graveyard. I've already looked at their deck twice this game, but just in case. You can never be too sure. Kudos to my opponent for their tenacity, but this deck actually does win at a reasonable clip. I am not worried about this here. Shred. I think they're officially out of lands that make mana. There are 4 cards in their deck now. Shred this Wooded Foothills just in case. Okay, you're up. Shred, F6, game. I'm going to attack with all my creatures, make them block. If you want to play the time game. I wonder if they've walked away. Okay, they did actually make a block. I'm F6, this is just time off their clock. Petty is as petty does. Cool. Okay. Toxic Deluge coming in here. Gemstone Cavern. I think Amber for Cavern makes a lot of sense. That Life from the Loam plan was nice. They are a Flage deck, which makes Soul Guide Lantern a little useful. The Surgicals, hit or miss, really. I don't need a lot of them, especially if I can tutor a Soul Guide Lantern. We saw main deck Consigned to Memories. Ensnaring Bridge remains essential, of course. Getting burned out is a bit of a concern. The Haywire Might lines up against their bindings and their ley lines. Tamiyo could be a little slow. It does block early, though. I like that. I do need to check early Ragavans. Ray of Revelation actually seems pretty fire here. Pithing Needle. I did name I got to name a fetch land that I knew they had in game 1. I don't know if it's going to be good like that in the future games. Just really tempted to cut another Surgical. Losing 2 life when burn is their primary win con. And I'm boarding a Toxic Deluge. I think I'm just going to have to handle Flage with the Surgical I still have or the Soul Guide. Okay, 1140 on my clock to 1950 in theirs. My hand is pretty good. I'm going to keep it. This is a turn 1 Emery. And I have access to Ensnaring Bridge on turn 2. No Leyline. That probably means Consign. Okay. Sanctum, Bauble, Opal, Soul Guide Lantern, Emery. I think Emery's better than Tamiyo to get started this early. And I'm not going to draw a card because I want Opal to be on even if they bolt my Emery. Passing turn 1 with 5 or 6 permanents in play will always feel good to me. Magic as Garfield intended. He printed the Mox in. He wanted this. Blood Crypt, untapped. I think we're going to get bolted here. There it goes. Territorial Kavu, already too big for Ensnaring Bridge. Okay, Urza's Saga, get in. I know that they can play cards like Leyline Binding to clear the bridge, and then they're bashing again. But I do have to try to put things down where I get them. Dashing Ragavan does get under the bridge. I need for my opponent not to steal one of my Codex Shredders here. That would be really bad. Okay, they did get a Codex Shredder. I spoke it into existence. I mean, we lantern each other. It's only fair. 2 cards left in their hand, and they did not play my Codex Shredder. Coward. Life from the Loam. Are we doing it? Not yet. Okay, Tamiyo comes in. Yeah, I think just making bigger creatures than their creatures is a good plan here. Even if I never actually use them to attack, I don't want them removing Ensnaring Bridge to actually be a plan that is good. I got 4 cards, one of them's Ragavan. Flage, yeah, there's that one. Do you want Tamiyo or do you want my face? Tamiyo's dead. That's fine. Just gonna get my F6 value, make a construct in their main phase. Another bridge. I'm gonna get a Lantern of Insight. I want to know what I have to play against. Wear Tear. Okay, I mean, good information. I will Ghost Quarter their Temple Garden. This is a shuffle if they want it. They could decline the shuffle and then get obliterated by Life from the Loam. If they want to get clever about this Wear Tear. Okay, they did not want to get clever. I don't blame them. Clever's overrated. Get back Ghost Quarter and Saga. Ghost Quarter. And I'm going to pass and see how they fetch in the end step. Getting them in their draw step's good too. And I don't care about Scion of Draco. That's the real important part. Yeah, you can draw Scion. Loam is backdooring as Codex Shredder here. Okay, if they fetch twice, they could play Flage. Okay, I'm going to Ghost Quarter the Blood Crypt here. I think I just want to strip lock them at this point. I have the Loam, I have the Ghost Quarter. If they can't play spells, that's fine with me. I do have to be aware of the size of this Kavu, because I have shrunk it under Ensnaring Bridge range, but luckily that's not what we're actually fighting about here. I have a 6/6 in play still. Okay, they drew another Kavu, another land on top. Kavu can chump attack and get a loot or an exile. Like if they want to blow out my Loam, they can here if they want to sacrifice their creature to do it. But that was just something I was doing. It's not even my real plan. I got Urza's Saga in my hand. They didn't even do it. Okay, draw for turn. Don't dredge Loam this time. Play Saga. Play the bonus bridge. Ragavan is in. Still not attacking. Actually, I'm going to dredge because I don't want a third bridge in my hand. I'll play Minamo. They could get 2 damage in here. No, they can't because I have another Saga. It's like everything is covered. I am going to make another Construct. Just make sure that attacking is never an option for them. Tutor Codex Shredder. Shredder. Play my land. Play my Lantern. Another Shredder on top. And now kind of just aggro mill. Don't let the clock get me, is the plan. Sign to memory. Soul Guide Lantern holding the fort against Flage. But Flage couldn't attack even if it does get a Helix on the way in. Drew another Shredder. Actually, I'm going to shred this into the Triome. There we go. Tribal Flames. Mildly concerning, I guess. Just don't get burned out, is the job. I've completely lost track of the cards in their hand, but none of them are burn spells as far as I know. There's a bunch of creatures and a bunch of lands, I think is what's going on. Okay, I'm going to Ghost Quarter their mountain. I'm going to start just cooking their random lands, make it so they can't play the game. Bobble you. Drew a Ghost Quarter naturally. Love that. Light from the Loam, target Ghost Quarter, Saga. Just really not worried about any of their creatures. Okay, you draw a Ragavan for turn, Leyline Binding on top of the deck, end step, shred you, and then Ghost Quarter, the land I can target. Fail to find. Draw Saga, play Saga. Haywire Might on top of my deck's pretty sweet too. Now I'm not even worried about Leyline Binding. Shred. Shred it all. Getting real sloppy with it. Okay, Haywire Might, play that. Play another Saga. Hitotsugu consumes all. When did that happen? Did I just blow it? Oh, that's awkward, but still fine. I think I was just shredding like crazy and lost track of a card. How much damage will they take to get these lands into play? Do they even have lands left that can cast it with Blood Crypt and Adopt the Triumph gone? It seems like they don't. Yeah, that was a big oops. Luckily, unpunished. And what we've learned about this opponent is they will play it out to the bitter end, so I do have to aggressively mill them. I have enough time to do it, I'm not worried, but I do have to do it. Do I even have anything to search for left? I guess I can get another Lantern in play, why not? Ghost Quarter, take out this land they put into play. Nothing to search for, pass the turn. Yeah, randomly exiling one of my Codex Shredders earlier, I think they could have won this game if they just played that. But it being in exile is annoying here. I can only mill twice a turn instead of up to 4 times. My other Shredder is still in the graveyard. Academy Ruins is in my deck somewhere. There's an Emery on top of my deck right now, even. End step, shred. Tribal Flames. I'm still at 18. Done a good job surviving this far. Discarded Scion. I am not going to Dredge Loam. I will draw this Emery. Load a colorless. Tutor a Bauble that I'll never use. Emery, play this. This will get a third Codex Shredder into play. And I'm actually not going to play this Saga because it just creates clicks that the game doesn't need to include anymore. I am going to shred this Flage, just in case. I kind of want Emery in play. Yeah, Consign to Memories, whatever. Lightning Bolt. Mill the Bolt. Okay, Emery, cast Codex Shredder from the graveyard. This will make my clock even faster. I could do a lot more this turn. I am just playing to the clock at this point. Like Minamo untaps Emery is more value. I guess what I have to think about and be ready to respect here, which luckily I am already set up to do, is if they play like an Emrakul just for the mill matchup, if I leave my Soul Guide Lantern uncracked, that won't matter. But it is something to think about. Shred, max shredding. 5.5 minutes, plenty of time to do what I gotta do here. I think I am gonna Dredge Loam and reload my Ghost Quarters this turn though. Ghost Quarter, and Otawara. Yeah, play Ghost Quarter and shred you. I can Ghost Quarter fetch lands, especially once they're out of stuff to do. Or out of lands to fetch. Shred. There goes Arid Mesa. Shred, there goes Leyline Binding. Ghost Quarters in play. Pass the turn. For the record, I don't blame anyone who has moved on to the next match at this point in the video. And for those of you still here, you're sick. Congrats. It takes me like 1 or 2 seconds to mill a card, and they have 12 cards left in their deck. I got a lot more than 36 seconds on my clock. Doing fine. There's Sacred Foundry. That's probably the last fetchable land in their deck at this point. I'll take it. I'm just putting out there for the world. You can do whatever you want with your time on this earth, but for real, me and this opponent could have been doing something else 20 minutes ago if they didn't want to play it out to the bitter end. If they don't think I can mill 4 cards in 4 minutes, I'm honestly insulted. Okay, so they're going to draw down to 2 cards, and I have 2 Shredders. A Wear Tear right at the bottom of the deck. Do you think that can still save you, opponent? Okay, Shred. Okay, they scooped. They didn't make me go all the way to the bottom this time. Okay. A honestly pretty clean, easy win. Just mind the clock. You don't have to do everything that you could do in a turn, like all that Emery value, some cards I could have drawn from Bauble, whatever. It doesn't matter. Could have had another Land of Insight, all 4 bridges. At some point, when you're playing both in paper and online, recognize that your deck is kind of slow if your opponent is going to make you play it out. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by MoxField.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. MoxField supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, MoxField can provide it for you. Follow my MoxField to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the draw for round 4. No action in this hand. Gonna mulligan it. Just nothing to do. Okay. I'll keep this one, and I think it's stock up to the bottom. It's either stock up or Tamiyo. I think I'm gonna bottom stock up. I could go turn 1 Tamiyo, turn 2 Shredder Lantern, and off of Urza Saga, and then I have 3 different engines going. I would want stock up if I were 100% sure it's a matchup that hinged directly on Ensnaring Bridge. Ooh, Misfault Bridge. Tormod Script. This is probably just some affinity deck. Sanctum Tamiyo. Misfault Bridge is quite powerful versus Ghost Quarter. They got me covered. Ooh. Basim. I've played against this card before, but we are going to read it together. Whenever you cast a historic spell, draw a card. Basim can't be blocked this turn. Whenever this deals combat damage to a player, put a +1 counter on it. Okay, so I might just die here. Yeah, this ability triggers once per turn. Never mind. It does say it after all the other words. Okay, that thing's really good. We're up against Basim Affinity. Urza Saga. Lantern. Codex. Thought Monitor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They can play Thought Monitor. They can play Thought Monitor anyway because of Emery. I think I do want to shred this thing. Got me good. Okay, they have multiple Thought Monitors. I am going to need an Ensnaring Bridge to turn this around. And the Emery lines up pretty poorly versus that face-up Tormod Script. Basim has already drawn 2 cards and it's been in play 1 turn. Going for Bauble instead of the double Monitor turn. Soul Guide Lantern. Boy, do they hate the graveyard. And they might be right to do it. Gotta exile one of their own things. Soul Guide Lantern, Scoreboard. There's a 3rd Thought Monitor. Oh, right. This was on top of the deck. We didn't even know about that one. So there's a Thought Monitor and a Glimmer Void in their hand and 1 unknown. Another Thought Monitor. The 2 Glimmer Void, Spire of Industry, 1 unknown in hand. Bobbling me, looking at Lantern of Insight. And then Basim will attack and then become a 3/3. They've got a Tamiyo on top. Got a lot of the same engines going here. I'm going to play Academy Ruins and pass. Having Tamiyo back to block is nice. There's the Ensnaring Bridge. That's a big deal. Sink into Stupor on top of the deck. That's not a card I want to play against when Ensnaring Bridge is my whole plan. Okay, they're targeting Thought Monitor. I'm going to respond to all these triggers by shredding them. They could pop their Soul Guide Lantern to draw a card in response. Yep, not ideal. Okay, so that's in their hand. And we know they have plenty of mana to cast it. That will cost them their Saga activation, but they have plenty of power in play. And no, they can do that anytime. That's not even how this card works. Never mind. Okay, Basim can't be blocked. I will block the thing I can block. It's a 4/4 now. My deck does not play counter spells. Yeah, they had a few too many draw triggers that turn for me to be able to work through. What if I just crash them back with constructs? They have just as many constructs as me and they're bigger. Never mind. Not gonna work. Okay, I don't think I get to make a construct. That's not what this game's about. Haywire Might could kill their construct. That's not what this game's about either. Pithing Needle on Emery doesn't really help. I could just get Haywire Might as something that blocks and gains life, except all their creatures fly or are unblockable, so that's not even true. I guess Pithing Needle on Emery is as good as it gets here. And then I'm going to Ghost Quarter their Saga now. Making a construct. Okay, I get crushed by Metallic Rebuke here. There's a Kappa on top of their deck. Kappa is annoying. I think I am going to shred the Kappa. There's a Rebuke. Okay, perfect. I guess Tamio probably should have attacked there, but no, we know they can bounce the bridge, so that's not even true. Yeah, I think I'm just cooked. They have bounced the bridge with counter backup. They could either counter the bridge on the way back down, or what else would they do? No, they could counter the bridge on the way back down. Yep, this is back. All right, I can't win this game. We're good. Not enough resources even to pretend to work through that. All right, we've got Ancient Grudge. Toxic Deluge doesn't seem bad. I'm going to shave an Amber. I think I'm going to shave a Loam. They have a lot of graveyard hate. Maybe I'll shave all my Loams if they have that much graveyard hate. Let's try to be a control deck. We saw Emery, which means Surgical and Soul Guide have text. I feel like Vexing Bobbling this player on turn 1 would be really powerful if they're playing a bunch of main deck Tormod scripts to build Affinity or trigger Basim, but if I do that, I'm also a deck full of zeros, and if it's not in my opening hand, it's pretty bad, so I'm not going to do it. And maybe one Surgical can go just because I'm bringing in better cards. Not that Surgical doesn't have text. Okay, let's go after it. This is pretty powerful turn 1. I'm going to keep... This is turn 2 stock up. Okay, Ghost Quarter, Mox Opal, Mox Amber, Codex Shredder. I could also play Pithing Needle this turn, but I don't know what I would say with it yet, so I'm just going to pass. Generally, in blind early Codex situations, you want to shred yourself, because the second mode, 5 sacrifice this, return a card from your graveyard to your hand, is pretty reasonable over a long game. Like, if you mill enough, eventually you hit Ensnaring Bridge that you can pay 5 to get it back. But with all the graveyard hate they play, I'm not really interested. Speaking of being interested, I could Boseiju their Mox Opal, and then Glimmervoid dies at the end of turn. But they can tutor up a different land. Did we see any lands with types? Interesting. Or I could also Ghost Quarter. No, I can't also Ghost Quarter. I'm a mana short of doing everything here. And I can't play stock up if I take this route. Maybe not for a long time. Is this the road I want to go down? I could also just cast stock up and put this Boseiju in my hand. Or Boseiju would have to go into play to do that. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. All right, I'm going to cast stock up. It's really tempting to attack their mana there. They probably have like exactly one basic land in their deck, would be my guess. Okay, Lantern is a definite. Saga is good. Tamio turns on Amber. I think I want Lantern Saga. I think that's the way to do this. Okay, I'll just pass. If I had drawn another land and Boseiju wasn't my guaranteed third mana source, I would have done the Boseiju on Mox Opal play. Portable hole, putting my Shredder in a hole. I'll mill them in response. Petty mills. And my Opal is off right now, but I know I have Lantern. They can Metallic Rebuke right now. Okay, Saga. If something's going to get rebuked, would I rather lead on Pithing Needle? I don't know what I would even name, though. I guess I'm just going to play the Lantern and hope they don't have Rebuke. Either way, I'm playing Tamio this turn. Like, I'll just pick something for Pithing Needle if I have to. Okay. That happened to the surprise of no one. Pithing Needle. Do I want to name Emery? It's awkward because we both have all the same big payoffs here. Okay. Tamio's in, though. There's a basic land. 4 cards in their hand versus basically my Urza Saga. Wear Tear. Disgusting. Okay. Yep. I've been worn and torn. Don't love that for me. I do love drawing another Urza Saga immediately, though. Attack. I would like to draw another card. Soul Guide Lantern. Is it time to Surgical Wear Tear? That tells me what's in their hand, and then I can make decisions about if I'm going to Ghost Quarter or what. Okay. I am going to Surgical Wear Tear because that card's terrifying. They can't Metallic Rebuke right now. Force Negation Kappa Saga is what they've got going on. And the deck includes all 4 Metallic Rebukes, 2 Basims, 3 Emrys, one's gone already, Haywire Might, 2 Kappas, 4 Refurbished Familiar. We saw one of those last game, but they never played it. Sinking of Stupor is a 1 of. So they have 3 answers to a resolved Ensnaring Bridge, and no way to win around it. Yeah, that's good info. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Get rid of those. I guess I might as well play the Soul Guide Lantern now. I'll exile Thought Monitor from the graveyard, just in case that's useful, and leave Ghost Quarter up for Urza Saga. And if they play Saga, I'm going to Ghost Quarter in response to the trigger. If they have another basic, this doesn't matter, but if they don't have another basic, then they can't play Kappa this turn now. Chose not to use the ability. Like I said, Affinity decks historically play exactly 1. They drew a 0, so they still get to Kappa this turn. Okay, we're looking for Ensnaring Bridge. Botanical Sanctum is on because most of my mana is not lands. Botanical Sanctum, attack. And my constructs are bigger than Kappa, and their hand is a counterspell right now, so I'm winning the race. This is a top deck war that favors me. Okay, bobbled me in the main phase. They either forgot, or no, it was tapped from Kappa, never mind. I was going to say they either forgot they had bobble, or they were seeing if they drew Infinity card first, but it was literally just tapped. Yeah, they can't even attack because it's just a trade with a construct. Tamio is a good card with 0 other synergy, but when your clues actually matter for material stuff, it feels so busted. Okay, another Tamio. I'm going to make another construct, and then the race is on. What would I like here? Haywire Might probably is the way to go. That can free my Codex Shredder. I'm going to attack with Tamio and for 8 damage here. This Tamio is a combat trick as well. Drops a clue in mid-combat. Opponent's at 10, and I'm going to pass. It's fun that Haywire Might is neutral. Like, I lose an artifact to remove an artifact, which gives me back an artifact. Kappa triggers. Can't be blocked, but they're already dead. Cool. Urza Saga Gaming, feeling good. Okay, Wear Tear is a card I have to think about. Not that I really have anything for it, it's just a card I have to think about. They have 3 answers to a bridge. Torpor Orb hits Emry, Thought Monitor, and it could hit Kappa or Basim. Wait, is Basim a cast trigger? I don't even know. I think it probably is. And Kappa's also a cast trigger, or Kappa's an enters trigger. I have one of these, I can just read it. Yeah, whenever this creature or another artifact enters. So if the artifact that enters happens to be a creature, Torpor Orb would stop it. That doesn't sound good enough. Just wanted to talk through it. Yeah, I think I like the construction of my deck right now. Am I interested in getting a loam back here? Still probably not. Okay. I don't want to turn on cards that should be dead, like Graveyard Hate. Gotta get one on the draw. Old builds of Lantern played cards like Spellskite and Welding Jar to protect the bridges. That's how important they were. And both of those were high numbers in the main deck. This is risky, but I'm kind of into it. All of my Moxen would be on. Any land is a good draw. There's 16 lands in the deck right now, and 6 Moxen. And a redraw. I'm going to keep. Lava Spur Boots is in. Toxic D. Yeah, I think Tamio is better than Beetling Lava Spur Boots in the blind. Like, if they go Bobble, Emry, equip Lava Spur Boots, Bobble me twice, that's pretty good. Misfault Bridge. Emry's in a hole, or whoever this is, Tamio's in a hole. That's okay. I drew most of the copies that I play. Sick. Always had it. I think I'm going to go Lantern. Hope to see a land on top of my deck. Codex Shredder. All right, well, that's the other half of my combo. Re-Tameo. Opponent's drawing Razor Tide Bridge. They can wear but not tear, or tear but not wear right now. All right, another hole. Do they want Lantern or Tameo? Please take Tameo. Hell yeah. Consigned to Memory on top of their deck. Wear, tear, and Consigned to Memory in an Affinity deck. My opponent has no scruples or morals whatsoever. They'll do anything. They'll eat their own kind. Okay, upkeep, something's happening. Oh, they're just consigning that. That's right, I was going to miss my land drop anyway. Deal. Tameo Shredder. Don't really want you to have another consign. Cool. Okay, Kappa's pretty scary now. If they get a Thought Monitor train rolling, that's scary. Okay, here we go. Spire of Industry, Refurbished Familiar, Wear Tear on top of the deck. They can cast Refurbished Familiar here. I think I would have to discard Soul Guide Lantern to it. A 3-2 haste. That's big enough to bash. Okay, I'm drawing Haywire Might. Oh, that land is a big deal, but it gets shuffled away, so it doesn't matter. I lied. Not a big deal. A small deal. I think I'm going to get another Shredder here. I'm going to shred the Wear Tear. You're not allowed to have that shit. Haywire Might. I don't like that either. Extremely hateful deck the opponent's brought to party with. Okay, my own Haywire Might. I'm allowed to have these, you're not. Those are the rules. They didn't play Familiar, though, which makes me think they're probably representing a counter. And indeed they are. Okay, can't pay 3. Do I want to Pithing Needle something here? If I needle Lava Spur Boots, that's one thing I don't have to worry about. Okay. Needle on Lava Spur Boots. That at least takes some pressure off. And now I need to survive until I have 3 mana, and one of it has to be black, and I have to have enough life total left to cast the Toxic Deluge when that happens. The other Wear Tear on top of the deck, we know they play 2 from Surgicling them last game. I'm going to discard Soul Guide Lantern. Take my 3 damage. Ghost Quarter is my land. Shred that Wear Tear. Thought Monitor. I don't want you to have that either. Mill that. Refurbish Familiar. Well, I don't want any of this shit to happen. I can draw Emery in response to the trigger. I think it's more important right now for me to block Refurbish Familiar with Tameo than it is to make a clue. It's just, can I get my 3rd mana before my life total is 0? Is the game right now. Okay, I'll draw a card in response to Familiar. Hope to see Mox Opal on top of my deck, and I do! Okay, Familiar, discard, Emery. I know their card in hand is Consign, right? I'm pretty sure that's true. Would they consign a Mox Opal? Or would they save it for something better? Okay, block this jerk. Okay, Moment of Truth. How dialed in are they? Mox Opal on the stack. Cool. Pretty sure their card in hand is Consign. I vaguely remember that being true. Deluge for 2. Kills all their stuff and none of mine. Wowie zowie. We got an ARG in the chat, yeah. Hard to predict. Okay, they're drawing Mox Opal now that I don't care about. If memory serves, and I hope it does, their card in hand is Consign. Refurbish Familiar. I'll mill that away. This is the fun part about playing Lantern. It's like, there's so much garbage going on, but then there's just one card that matters for either player. It could be them, it could be me. All right, leave you with the Opal. Play Otawara? I think I would like to play Otawara because this lets me crack clues and do stuff. Okay, I'm going to go into Planeswalker Tameo mode. Unless they counter the trigger, which is fine. Clue. Clue. Plus. We're in business, team. So they have to have 5 good cards in a row. As long as I don't spaz off with the Codex Shredders, and I'm going to make sure I don't here. I'm not even going to use it if it's a land. Urza's Saga, get in. Plus Tameo. Play Lantern. Play Emery. This clears the Mox Amber I don't actually want to draw. And then I get Haywire Might looping. Ancient Grudge in the old grip here. The second grip, the graveyard. I could bash a portable hole for another Tameo back. That will make all of my... Okay. All right. That was gonna... I was gonna Ancient Grudge a hole in the end step and just make a clue every turn because that'll make my constructs kill so much faster. Awesome. That matchup was pretty scary game one when they just came out blazing, but if you get the hooks in or a well-timed Wrath out of the sideboard, you suddenly have a trophy round in front of you. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I'm on the play for the final trophy round. After starting 3-0-6-0, our last opponent had the audacity of taking a game off me. Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. I'm going to have to start with a mulligan here. The BoshNRoll doesn't really cast anything. This deck mulligans extremely well, though, as we've found out. I think I'm going to keep this hand and bottom one of the lanterns. That second lantern does turn on Opal, and that gets me to stock up, but I'm hoping that I get there in my own time. A BoshNRoll. Okay, lantern. Interesting. Well, this could get dicey. They are not a deck that's very good at beating Ensnaring Bridge. And the clue does turn on Opal. They didn't block. Dumbass. That was harsh. I'm having fun, though. Okay, Life in the Loam on top of my deck. I can crack a clue, but that would cost me stock up. Crumbling Vestige from hand. This is not the one I can see on top of their deck. Okay, if we're just main-facing constructs, that's not the worst thing that could happen. I guess I am going to crack the clue because I can just make another clue and cast stock up, but I'd rather find a land. Emery's here. Attack will turn Opal back on. I know stock up will hit a land here because there's Otawara. I don't know if I will find what I need in time, though. Stocking up. Well, there's Ensnaring Bridge. I do need that. Ensnaring Bridge Ghost Quarter. Bridge GQ. If I Ghost Quarter the Saga, they can't get an amulet. I'm going to do that. I'm going to hit the Saga before it can find an amulet, and then play Ensnaring Bridge next turn, I hope. Maybe even put them in a Loam Lock the turn after that. Man, stock up's so good. Okay, they're drawing Primeval Titan. Scary stuff. Do I want to shuffle it away? I'm not that scared of it if they don't have an amulet. Would they have sandbagged an amulet this long? Simic Growth Chamber. Yeah, if they're just playing this as a land. They picked up a Seiju. Bummer. That is how that works. Okay, I drew a Lantern for turn. I'm going to attack with Tamiyo. And I think if my opponent's going to jerk around with a Seiju, I'm just going to Ghost Quarter their 2-mana land here. Is this the game you want to play with me? I'll play it. Echoing Deeps. Okay, that could be an Urza Saga if they want it to be. Drop a... Oh, that should have been Emery. Fuck, that was so bad. I forgot I had Emery in my hand. Okay, yeah, I should have played Emery there. Okay, passing the turn. I'll probably Dredge Loam next turn. And if they BoshNRoll anything other than the Ensnaring Bridge, which they don't know about, I'm in great shape. The Echoing Deeps and another Prime Time. And if they just keep playing Deeps, though, I'll just keep Ghost Quartering it. That's a Saga. Summoner's Pact. Ooh, okay. If they get Azusa here, Dryad of the Elysian Grove. Yeah, that's basically Azusa. And they found a Growth Chamber off the top of your deck. That's super annoying. Okay. They played the Teleria West that we know about. How do I want to do this now? I'm going to Dredge Loam, because I don't want to draw Emery. There's a Surgical Extraction on top of my deck right now. That could be interesting. I'm going to attack with Tamiyo. That's happening. Get another clue in the mix here. And I can't Surgical them and Ghost Quarter them. They have a pack to pay for in the upkeep. If I play Ensnaring Bridge now, what happens? I could also stock up into the Surgical. They have to pay for a Pact. They don't get Amulet until turn after next. This Growth Chamber they can play twice, though. That's a problem. But I can Surgical Growth Chambers out of their deck. Okay. I'm playing stock up. Okay, Manamo is an actual land. Do I need an actual land? I'm definitely taking Surgical. Mark that one. And then Amber versus Manamo. Yeah, I think it's Manamo. What does Amber do? Amber plays Emery this turn. Oh, okay, that's actually really good. Okay, I'll take the Amber. Amber and Surgical. Mox Amber, Emery. I'm going to set a stop in their draw step. They pay for the Pact. I want them to draw Simic Growth Chamber so I can extract it from their hand. Okay, you draw for turn. Oh, it's another Growth Chamber. I'll take them all. This one, the 2 from your hand, wow. And the 1, but there's a Gruul Turf over there too. So this is 1, 2. Oh, they don't have Amulet. No, it's not even that. Okay, great. I will take them all. Now there's an Amulet on top of their deck. And the hand is Primetime Beseiju Gruul Turf. I can loam back up Ghost Quarter and kill the Saga, that which shuffles away the Amulet. I'll replay Beseiju. Now we're so live. All right, they get to pick it up. That's how cards work. Someday I'll remember. Oh, they picked up Crumbling Vestige. Let's go. Okay, great. Dryad gets a crack. Do I want to shuffle my own deck here? I don't really want to draw another loam. Yeah, I think I am going to Lantern myself. Manamo, okay. Not excited about that either, but it's better than loam. Okay, so if I play... What's in my graveyard? There's an Ensnaring Bridge in the graveyard. There is a Codex Shredder in the graveyard. That's actually pretty good. I don't think I can afford them having 2 amulets. Can they have any amulets? If I Ghost Quarter the Saga, they don't have to search. But if they don't search, oh, they can just Primetime Tutor 2 Valakuts and I lose? Yeah, I think I'm out of options here for how I'm going to beat them. Yeah, the Valakuts are still in the deck. I can't stop them from playing Primeval Titan. I can make them draw 3, discard 3 with Cephala Coliseum. Does that do anything? I don't think so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They usually play 3 forests, I think. I didn't think to look at their entire configuration when I surgicaled, so that's a bleed. Oh, and they have Crumbling Vestige in hand that's worth 2 mana. Straight up. Okay, so they're going to be able to cast Primeval Titan next turn. They don't really need to attack. Okay, I'm going to attack with Tamiyo. Get another clue. Gotta do something here. And then play Manamo, play Codex Shredder, play Ensnaring Bridge, probably lose. I'm going to shred this Amulet. Oh god, Scapeshift. That's probably worse. But, I guess I have to shuffle their deck now. I'm definitely not beating a Scapeshift. Okay, I no longer know what's going on. They can get an Amulet. Yeah, this is just already lethal. This is just, if there are 2 Valakuts in the deck, which there should be, I'm at 9. Too many early beats from other stuff. I feel like I had the tools here and didn't use them right. Okay. Big thanks. Torpor Orb definitely coming in. Ancient Grudge kills Needles. And Ray kills Sagas. I don't think I need to kill Sagas, though they are important. I like Grudge, I like Orb. Soul Guide Lantern, not super important. Surgical could be big. I think it's less big. -1 Amber. This is unfortunately a deck that relies on a 6/6 in some of its lines. Like if I can extract Valakuts, Ensnaring Bridge actually is a squeeze. So I'm not going to be able to do the Kappa line during any of these. Vexing Bauble does counter Pact, which is part of their deck. Oh, Ray of Revelation kills Dryad as well. All right, I'm in. Loam's pretty good. Haywire Might's really good. Needle can name Beseiju. I have a Beseiju of my own. I don't think I can cut that many baubles. Maybe a Tamiyo goes. I like Emery. Maybe I shave an Opal and an Amber. Feels weird to do that because I'm also trying to keep up with them, but I'm bringing in 5 cards that slow the game down. And I hope this works. Okay, this hand has a turn 2 Emery, turn 1 Shredder, turn 2 Emery. I'll try it. Emery is a lot of looks at stuff like Torpor Orb. I just randomly milled a forest too. Getting rid of those is nice. Mox Amber, what's up? I like that card. Okay, Cephalid Coliseum, Mox Amber, Emery Lurker of Lock. Gotta take one on the way in. Life from the Loam, target Urza Saga. Might as well spend my mana, right? Cool. And I'm gonna just RNG shred them again. Their deck actually is full of one-ofs where, like, if I mill a Valakut suddenly, or mill a Primetime, suddenly Surgical Extraction is a stone banger. Dismember, you got me. And Growth Chamber picks that up. I think I'm just going to cast Stock Up this turn, rather than Dredging Loam. Drew another Loam, perfect. When you have one Loam, all you really want is another one. That's how that card works. A Mox Amber, that's the wrong Mox. Codex Shredder. I can replace Emery. Emery plus Loam is a combo, so I like Emery. And stock up Shredder Ruins. I don't think I want the Ruins. I'll grab another stock up and hit them with another friendly random mill. I've hit 2 Dryad of the Elysian Groves. It's basically Thoughtseize. Urza Saga. If I find a Mox Opal to get this Ray of Revelation going, I'm in business. Spelunking. I might not have time. Vesuva enters as a Growth Chamber. Gonna bounce Saga, probably. Yep. Explorer. Yep, they're doing it. Okay. That was a lot of cards moving around. Mox Opal. Oh, and Snaring Bridge. Might just have to play that thing. There is a Boseiju around somewhere. I can play Emery and Bridge because I have Amber in play. Ancient Grudge. That's the wrong one. There is an Opal in the graveyard now. Bridge from hand. Random Milieu. Scapeshift is gone. Okay, good. I don't just lose. I might just lose anyway. But the attack with Primeval Titan lines are off. This is a pretty important turn. If I can get Mox Opal into play, Ray of Revelation, the Spelunking, and the Saga without being dead, could be okay. But I could also just lose. They are representing a lot of mana right now. Yeah, they played the Boseiju as a land, which means they needed mana number 6, but okay, I might just lose. I'm probably about to F6 and see what happens. This was for 4, that's not that many. But there are infinite loops that can start like this. If they have the Lotus Field lines, which they probably do if they're playing Scapeshift. I don't even know how Amulet's constructed right now. It's probably been 5 months since I played it myself. Yeah, Lotus Field, Crumbling Vestige, Urza's Cave, and they all enter untapped, of course. Urza's Cave can search the library for a land, put it into play tapped. This could be a second Lotus Field or a Mirror Pool, or they could get Teleria here and pick it up with the Growth Chamber. Echoing Deeps entered as Vesuva, which entered as Lotus Field. That was a cool trick. Okay, so they have to sacrifice all these lands, which I think is on purpose because Aftermath Analyst is part of the line. They sack 2 lands. Dosan. All right, players can only cast spells during their own turns. F6 from here. They'll now find out how and if they beat Ensnaring Bridge, but I'm pretty sure they just Boseiju me out. Or Valakut me out. Yeah, this game brought to you by Ray of Revelation on the splash. Mox Opal showing up 1 turn too late to kill the Spelunking. Spelunking becomes Echoing Deeps, which becomes Lotus Field, which is 6 mana, which is exactly enough to play and activate Aftermath Analyst. Okay, do your thing. They're copying my Cephalid Coliseum. Did I give them a win condition? I think I did. And because of Dosan, they can't even loot me into Surgical. Sweet technology. I don't think I've ever seen Dosan the Falling Leaf in Amulet before. And Shifting Woodland can become Aftermath Analyst, and that's just a loop that flips their whole deck. They're targeting themselves with Cephalid Coliseum. Discarded 3 lands that will all become right into play. Urza's Cave finds a Valakut. Okay, there's one. Shifting Woodland could also become Dryad of the Elysian Grove eventually, but they will eventually flip their deck. All right, I'm just going to let them go. I'm going to stop trying to figure out what's happening and just let it happen. Okay, they have 2 Shifting Woodlands now. That's how this works. They will turn one of them into Dryad and the other into Aftermath Analyst, and then just Valakut me into the earth. There's a Dryad, and then they just activate the thing once, and that should be enough. Okay. Smooshed by Amulet in the final round. What else is new? Okay, a 4-on-1 record where 3 of those matches were 2-0s, couldn't be touched for the start of this league. This felt like Lantern Control I remember from, was it 8 years ago? 10 years ago? Who even knows at this point? You could probably just look at a calendar and find out, but I'm not going to do that. I was a little dubious of the card advantage engines at first because being hellbent under Ensnaring Bridge is so important, but all these cards helped me find Ensnaring Bridge, and then once I had Bridge going, I was never actually worried about overfilling my hand. I even cast stock up into Bridge more than once and was pretty confident between the lands, 0s, and 1s in the deck I would be able to get empty again. That worked out great. And this was me just playing ice cold with no reps on the deck recently, so maybe I shouldn't have boarded out one of my Surgicals and my Soul Guide Lantern, because my opponent did kill me through the graveyard to avoid Ensnaring Bridge in that last round. Maybe if I just spark a Soul Guide Lantern and play, they can't win. I also boarded out a MOX Opal that round and then lost because I couldn't Ray of Revelation Spelunking. And they did dismember my first Emery and I had to come up with another one, or else I would have had that mana faster or engines going faster. So they did have counterplay, and it's just a fetch matchup that had counterplay as well. But I think the graveyard hate should have been in more. There's just so many ways to build Amulet Titan, and they have so many different convoluted routes to victory. But that's a homework and study issue, and if I was going to do my homework and study how to play Lantern, if I was serious about this for the RCQ season, then that's something I would have known about. But as far as going ice cold off of someone else's 5-0 list, I feel like this league was pretty good. We showcased the deck strengths and weaknesses. We got to showcase stock up in yet another format. Been playing this in Legacy and Vintage a lot lately. Big fan of this card. 93, thank you for asking me to do this. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, join my Patreon to support the channel, and I'll see you next time.